Do you have any background with Mike Vrabel, and is there anything you see on Patriots tape that is reflective of his personality?
Really just watching his teams, in Tennessee over the years, and then, as a coordinator in Houston. And I think the signature is they don't do a lot. What they do really well. And that's what he's looking for. And it goes to the same thing. If he can get his guys in position where they know what to do, then they can fly around and play physical and make plays. And that certainly is happening. What I see on film, that is happening for that group on both sides, where they're not trying to reinvent the wheel. They have some wrinkles, but it's pretty good, just clean football and guys playing hard.
Will the playing hard translate into playing good, sound football? I think that is certainly the question that everybody in New England is asking about this Patriots team going into this matchup against the Carolina Panthers. They are going to have to deal with a bit of a hiccup on the offensive line because their left guard, their rookie Jared Wilson, is going to be out for this game. That, it's a young line to begin with, AB. So this, we all know, like, you take one piece out of the puzzle out and how is it going to look and how are they all going to fit together with a new piece being inserted? It would seem that it'll be Ben Brown who gets the start at left guard. He's been out there working with the rookie and Will Campbell at practices throughout the week. But we all know that this all starts up front, and the Patriots are going to have to deal with a little bit more adversity up front with a change there, because of the injury to Wilson here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this offensive line handles this, right? Because you're never going to go through a perfect season when you have your whole offensive line healthy, right? So it'll be a great chance for the Patriots to say and to really evaluate, hey, who do we want where, when shifts need to be happened. And it'll be interesting to see how Ben Brown does. It's good that he was able to get those reps earlier in the week next to Will Campbell. I know he played center last year, so it'll be interesting just to see him adjust. But also, you could probably shift him around and use him in various roles. So I think it'll be good for the Patriots because they're going up against a Carolina defense that really only has one sack on the offense, but they have been able to put a lot of pressure on their opposing quarterback. So great test for the Patriots O-line, not only in the game plan, but just for down the line in future of how they're going to handle future injuries that come up.
Yeah. Josh McDaniels talked this week about that Carolina defense and Derrick Brown. Let's take a listen to McDaniels once again.
This is a really talented player, and they have multiple guys at different levels that create some issues here. Derrick's a very rugged guy up front, powerful, strong, explosive, can be disruptive in the running game, can be disruptive in pass protection. We'll see him on both sides of the line of scrimmage, both sides of the ball, so it's not just one person that's going to see him. They're going to move him in terms of where his alignment is, so that's a challenge. But I have a great deal of respect for Ejiro. I've coached against him before. He does a great job of trying to put his players in the right positions so that they can make plays. Merrick, the safety, certainly a new addition to their team, but extremely disruptive all over the field. Blitzer, coverage, down most of the time in the front, but very active guy. Their corners are good, and present different challenges to us. So, and then last week they blitzed a lot and created a lot of turnovers and takeaways. So this is a group that we're certainly getting, familiar with as we go through the week, but expect a huge challenge from them. I know they're well coached and they got good players. It's a rather young group, in terms of some of the teams we've played so far. So a lot of, youth and talent on the defense. And I think our guys are hard at work getting familiar with these guys, but big challenge for us on Sunday.
I think one of the things that you have to respect, beyond what Josh McDaniels was talking about, what Derrick Brown does on the field for this Panthers team is really just the humility with which he approaches what comes after it. He was like, look, we might have won this game 30-0, but it's fool's gold to think that actually holds any weight. Because if you go out there next week and you don't show up and show out again, guess what? Like, you're not going anywhere. There's nothing after winning one game in this season, unless that one game is in February and it ends, hoisting a Lombardi trophy. So just his approach to really, I think, speaking to his teammates in saying, like, hey, don't hang your hat on the fact that we just shut out the Atlanta Falcons. We got a game this week against the New England Patriots.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, because it could be very easy to get really high on yourself and high on yourself as a defense for getting a shutout. Those don't happen in the NFL, and you can kind of almost forget, if you're not careful, weeks 1 and weeks 2, right? Like, that is a huge factor. And you can see the defensive leader on this team really putting a stake in the ground and saying, you're right. Like, one win doesn't do anything for you unless you stack wins in the NFL. And so I think too, what Josh McDaniels had said just about his versatility, like, they're going to be moving him around, and it's something that the entire offense has to prepare for. That's going to present a challenge when you talk about having a different puzzle piece in your offensive line.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's definitely challenges that this Carolina defense are going to present, with their leader, of course, encouraging the team around him, which is really what, he has done as the centerpiece of that defense, since signing that deal with the Carolina Panthers. So I would expect more of that, and look, they're going to make life a little bit difficult for an offensive line that has a different piece inserted into it because of injury. And we know that it all sort of starts from there. And I would say this again, and I feel like a broken record, AB. I got to be honest here. I say it every week now, but I do think that the way the Patriots start this game, the way their offense comes out, are they able to, just get on it and immediately start moving the ball down the field like we saw, down in Miami, right? Like a place that we talk so much about is difficult for the Patriots to play historically, but that is the best we have seen them play in terms of consistently moving the ball down the field, using a variety of weapons available to Drake May, albeit through the pass game and the run game. Can we see them get out to that type of start in Foxborough this weekend? I think that is hugely significant and indicative of the way this game could go.
I think that's a great point, because there's evidence that backs that up, right? You talked about in week 2, you saw what they were able to do offensively and the momentum and confidence that they gave them as a team, spreading it around too. It's not like they went to Stephon Diggs every single play, right? Like, it was all those guys on offense in the run and in the passing game. And so then you contrast that with what you saw in week 3, and it was just a different offense, right? And I think that the hot start is especially important against a defense that is coming off of multiple quarters of shutting the opponent out and not letting them score. So you can't let that hot streak and that momentum continue from last week into this week. Yes. Are they humble and they're saying, the past is in the past, we're moving on, we got to continue this? Yes. But they're also, that confidence still lives in you as an athlete and as a unit, as their defensive unit. They're definitely going to be leaning on that and tapping into it come the first snap in the first drive of this game.
Yeah. I think another note that's interesting to me, and everybody is sort of wondering who Bryce Young is at this point in his career. He obviously finished last season strong, then has had some hiccups, on the road this season. The Panthers obviously got their offense going, and he played pretty well in that game against the Atlanta Falcons, obviously put up 30 points in the win. But he has really struggled on the road. I mean, he has one road win in 15 starts on the road as the Carolina Panthers quarterback. That is certainly not a statistic that he likes being associated with. But I am super curious to see what this offense is going to look like. And obviously some of it hinges on who he has around him. And that is very much in question at this point in time, as I mentioned, right? Like, their wide receivers, Xavier Legette is dealing with a hamstring injury, hasn't been practicing. Tatroa, McMillan, who has been really fun to watch in the early going of the season, just as someone who loves football. He's dealing with a calf injury. Is he going to be out there? But I would argue that the Patriots defense if they can get off to a really strong start against this Carolina offense, that is really significant as well.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting, Jade, because when you said the stat about Bryce Young only having one road win as a starter, when I initially heard that, I think earlier in the week, I did not believe it. There's no way. That's great. That's wild, but it's the truth. And then you kind of flip it and you look at the Patriots situation. They need to win at home. Like, they have struggled to win at home. So you have this really interesting and kind of funny situation here where you have a team and a quarterback that needs to win on the road. And you have the Patriots here who really need to get a win at Gillette. And like you said, it'll be interesting to see how Bryce Young does with a passing game that could have taken a hit, right? You're going to have to lean more heavily on the run potentially this game. And so it'll be interesting to see how much they lean on Bryce Young as a runner as well in this game, and how the Patriots defense will contain him.
Yeah, for sure. Tetro McMillan, for his part, has said he plans to be out there. I still think it's one that you just got to watch. It's calf injury, and for his sake, yeah, certainly hope he's back out there. Like I said, he was able to participate in practice yesterday, so that is usually a pretty good indicator of where things are headed. But I'm sure that Bryce hopes that he has the rookie out there as well.